a lot of favorite moments, a lot of special moments. I think probably everyone will say this who graduated in 2009. Obviously, being Florida State at that night game was an awesome experience, and being able to do that, and just playing the music and being there. There are some fun times that are not worthy of the camera, I don't think. But there are that Florida State one. Doing the Journey show was really fun. That was one of my favorite shows, and being able to do that. Also, the Christmas concert with Tech was actually very fun because, like, I thought Tech was like a good band, but then when I heard us compared to them, I was like, yes, we rock. We're so good. But if I had to pinpoint and choose one thing that was one of my favorite moments, it would be actually working in the uniforms crew. And it's very interesting because I bet no one will say that, but it was like 6 or 7 of us, Josh Richards, Laura Noonan, Rachel Prowlis, Colin Jones, all of us just working, and so many other names, so I know I'm leaving out people, but just working and like enjoying it and being pissed that we have so much work to do, but yet getting it all done efficiently, and being pissed that it's so hot or the truck is not in the right place, but still having fun. Like, those were some of the best, like, behind the scenes moments. And the average first year probably didn't even notice that happened, but it's still a fun band moment to me. So those fun times. Anytime that students felt the need to rush the field, we couldn't do it obviously, but like I would say that Florida State first year was a great game. And then going to the bowl games, those were always great. Even if I think Nashville we won and Jacksonville we lost, but it was great. It was still fun. Like just going there and being there, and you look back on it and you're like, oh my gosh, we faced Texas Tech, when they were good with Mike Leach, like these are awesome. This is awesome. Like this is fun. So yeah, so the bowl games, Florida State game. Well, my least favorite band camp memory is Cook being waxed, on stage during Skit Night by Tiffany Hornsberger. That was horrible. There's so many ones. I guess my favorite band camp memory, I have multiple, but one of mine, when the Saxophones, we sung James Brown. I was the lead on that. That was fun. Just because it was like I didn't expect to be good, and we were good, and it was actually fun, and that was awesome. But yeah, the evening nights, the fun activity, the mandatory fun, as people called it, that was the fun stuff. Going down either for like Olympics or Skit Night or things like that. Those were that was fun. And then also sectional time. I remember, I think it was my 4th year that, the saxophones, like Morgan, like the thing was, there was a rolling, like moving board in our saxophone sectional room, like that moving board, whatever. And so Morgan Romeo decides that she's going to draw the wall. And she's like, all right, everyone, at some point this week, you are going to hit the wall. And first year, we're like looking around and looking at me like, what do you mean hit the wall? I said, you're going to run out of gas, you're going to get tired, it's just going to become frustrating. And then that's when we all pick each other up and, continue to go. And by day 2, after she put that up, like 3/4 of the section had either hit the wall, someone fell over the wall crushed me, like they drew a picture of me in half and the wall was on top of me because I didn't stay up late to do uniforms the other night, like just laughing and taking pictures of the wall. It's just so funny. It was really funny. So lots of favorite moments from band camp, lots. My favorite tune was that tune we did for it's Soulful Strut. We did it at Nashville, and I just liked it because it was like, it's soulful, and I'm like, soul, I love soul music, so it's very soul, and I love that. But my favorite show, obviously, is the Journey show. It was at night, we were playing Any Way You Want It, Separate Ways, Don't Stop Believing. The crowd really got into it, probably because Erica was twirling fire. Erica Serenity, the feature turtle at the time, was twirling fire in front of the student section. They were like, oh my gosh. But it's still, the Journey show, I think, was my favorite show, and Soulful Strut is my favorite song. That's a long process. I'm glad you asked. No. What happens is they throw or what used to happen was they throw their uniforms in the bin, and then the cape stayed in the bag, and what happens is they would go to the cleaners. In the day, Michael Itzier, the former assistant band director, would go get them from the cleaners and leave them for us to the uniform crew, us, to hang up and to put away. Like, so we would have a list of everyone's numbers for jackets and pants and just put them in there and, line them up correctly, zip them up, and we would also then unload the truck of instruments and things like that because, Itzio would wait until the uniform crew got there to do all the little, what he seemed grunt work. Not hating on Itzio though, I'm not hating on him. But like, it's like those things that people don't know. And that took us about 2 hours because when you're doing that for like 270 people, like it's gonna take you some time. So we put music on, there would be 8 of us, maybe 10 of us. We'd invite people from Kappa Kappa Psi, Tau Beta Sigma to come and help. Sometimes we had pizza, sometimes we didn't, sometimes we, played music, sometimes we didn't, sometimes Itzio helped, sometimes he didn't. So like all these kinds of things happen, and it was very nice. Uniforms crew, it's just so funny because at the end of the year we would give a golden spat, like so. I forget her name right now. Oh, Kelly's her name. Kelly Thompson. I'm gonna say Kelly Thompson. One year she painted a gold spat and just like handed it out to somebody, and so every year we handed it out. I remember Josh Richards, Laura Noonan, and our final year, our 4th year, we gave it to Hillary Blyer and Lizzie Guarino, and that was fun. It just, they were happy, they were excited, and then the next year, Itzio was all nice to them. He was like, "Oh yeah, of course I can help." And with Josh, Laura, and I, he was like, "No, not helping." I was like, that jerk. So, but no, those were the kind of things that people probably didn't know and probably didn't see. And it's very funny because I had to basically say, at the beginning of band camp, I was like, I need like 5 minutes, just to tell people how to put their pants on correctly. No Farmer John's. I remember my spiel too. But it was those kinds of things that people don't see that made uniforms. I think we were the best, side crew. Josh Richards and Laura Noonan. We've become close. They're 2 of my best friends, and that's only because of band. And we went to Beach Week together and got close there. But we've had our ups and downs, as any like best friends have. The 3 of us. We've had fights and been mad at each other and cried and things like that. But overall, like. It's been great. Like they have made my life better, and I hope I've made their life better. And I've seen growth too, in both of them. Like at one point, Dave Knight said Laura didn't have a voice box. Like Laura talks all the time now. Like I was hanging out with her recently. We went to wineries, and she was just chatting it up and just sweet and like chatting. Like she's always sweet, but she was chatting it up, like having fun. Josh has become less argumentative. I know. People are probably like, what? Less argumentative? And Josh is gonna hate that when he sees that. But anyway, he's become less argumentative, and he's, he's grown as a person, and it's really nice to see. Like, he's, more outgoing, if that's even possible for Josh. Like, he is still one of the nicest guys. Like, give you the shirt off his back kind of guy. And it's really nice. So we've grown close, and they're 2 of my best friends. Kyle's my other best friend. I'm glad you mentioned Kyle Graham. Oh, so I was telling a story at my housewarming with how Kyle and I originally became friends. So we met at band camp, obviously, and Kyle's from Modena, which is like a suburb of Roanoke. And Kyle, when he first came into marching band, he wore glasses, and he still wears glasses. He wore glasses. He was, tall, slender, and he talked like this. He had like a nice accent, and he doesn't want to admit that, but I know for a fact. But he didn't. It was like a low, deep. He only said like 3 or 4 words, like the whole entire band camp was like, "Hi, how are you? Bye." Like those kinds of things. Like he was just very like not outgoing, quiet. That kind of thing. And then you meet me, and I'm like the total opposite. I'm like black, I'm big, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like he was the perfect cat personality, and I was the perfect dog personality. Like I'm sure I scared him the first time I met him, but unfortunately we were able to connect on a lot of similar things that we had in common, like our backgrounds and our beliefs, and talking. And I think once Kyle opened up and he knew college was something that was the fun, and once I like calmed down, calm down, we've become very close friends, and and he's one of my best friends because he's always like the voice of reason and the voice of intelligence, and that kind of like reasoned intelligence is very nice, a good way to put it. I remember when I became section leader, and I was very nervous, and he was like, "Rodney, we're all going to give you a chance." Because we had the last year section, or my third year in saxophone section was kind of tumultuous, yes. And Kyle was like, "You're doing a good job." And when he told me that, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing a good job." Because Kyle wouldn't lie if it wasn't true. So, one of my best friends, reasoned intelligence. Those kids are so lucky because they have a darn band building. That would be the one thing that I wish we had when we were there at UVA, like the band building. Because basically you can go back nowadays and just say to them, I used to have to push 2 tuba cases up the hill and down the hill, both ways in 30 feet of snow, all this kind of stuff. But I think that's changed, having a building and having, that kind of stuff. But I think it also helped us build character, not having a building and having to say, "Oh, hey, practice in the cage," or practice at, Cavalier, let's text it out. And I'm like, okay, we're going to some random hotel. That's great. That's wonderful. But yeah, things have changed. I think that's the biggest thing for me is that they now have a space that's their own, that they control, and that's something that's just really nice. The size, obviously, is another thing that has changed. I think that's for the better. I think that's a good thing. And the people have changed, but I think the intentions and the personalities and those kinds of things, characteristics don't change. It's still the same, all under the sun kind of thing. That quote that there's nothing new under the sun. Those kinds of things don't change, and the heart and the core and the love and the traditions, those things don't change. So while the physical building has changed, the numbers have grown, I think the true heart and spirit hasn't. It's made me a better leader, and I know that sounds corny. I can see my own growth thanks to the CMB. In the past, I was very laid back and with my leadership style, kind of that kind of thing. Nowadays, especially in the classroom, I'm very, this past month, I feel like none of my kids like me because it was so, we got work to do. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you. I was very strict, and I'm going to loosen up. And that was one of the things I learned, with being a leader is be strict, then loosen up. And I think that has helped me in growing in that state in my life, and helped me personally. And then when I hear band music, like marching bands, like high school marching band, and I'm just wrong note, out of step, pause, on the beat, the cheerleading coach at my school and I were standing next together at a football game, and she's just she turns to me and she's like, "I love it when you get like this. When the band plays a song, I hear them sounding perfectly. When you hear them play a song, you're correcting them, and it's I didn't know that there were so many levels to music," because she's not musically inclined, but she's I didn't know there were so many levels to music and so many things that you could hear, and then you have a good ear, and I was like, I guess I do now, thanks to CMB. You just pick out those things, and certain things about marching bands you see, and certain things about life you see, and certain situations repeat itself, nothing new under the sun, like I said again. But that kind of stuff. Overall, I think the marching band experience has been great. My Cavalier marching band experience is awesome. The people that you meet are great. I think that's what really hooked me in for that. After that first semester, was the people that I met and the relationships that I formed. That's, I think, what kept me around. The music was fun. The marching was fun, and you learn life lessons. I know that sounds hokey or corny, but it really is helpful. It really is good. It really is fun. And I look back on it, my life would be so different if I hadn't done the Cavalier Marching Band. My leadership skills would be so different. My experiences would be so much different. And if I had to go back and do it again and decide, well, hey, one more semester, if I had to go back and do it again, I would.